Alright, so that was a little bit interesting. Every time I go to do this, I test it out first and everything works fine. And then I pause everything or stop it actually. And then I set it up to actually go live. And for whatever reason, it decides to start having issues. So I don't know what that was all about, but all right, let's slide this out of the way. Now I got to bring everything back up. So I had to restart the computer just to get this to go. And well, let me turn my phone volume down. Alright, so we're definitely live. Alright, so I apologize for that. I guess I just need to restart the computer every time I do this. I didn't do that this time, so that was probably my mistake. Was I should have restarted the computer when I knew I was about ready to go. So I got to reset everything up. So give me just a minute because I closed everything, shut the computer down. So, alright, let's open this up. And let's check down here. Just bear with me for a minute. I've got to reset everything up. So y'all just remind me next time. Turn the computer off and restart everything. Okay, we're going to be looking at Perseverance Saw 452. This is a pretty cool Gigapan. I think we've looked at this one before because I had a folder for it, so I'm sure we did. But there was some interesting finds in here that people have looked at. So let's bring up... I'm going to start with this one. Let's bring this over. Oops. What's this one? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, some other cool stuff. Okay. Alright, so we got that. What in the world? Take these off. Alright, so we're going to start with this one. I'm going to go to the Gigapan first, so just bear with me for a moment here. I had it all set up. That was on, I think it was on, pretty sure it was. This thing's pretty cool. I don't know if anybody's seen this. This is one posted by Dave Gannett. We're over at his page, by the way, his Facebook page, Mars X3D. That thing looks like a wing. It's kind of facing away from you, but a wing for an aircraft. You can see kind of the underlying structure. We may do something with this one if anybody's interested in that one. But it does have the shape of an airfoil, as Dave pointed out. You can see some the internal structure. We will wind up probably taking this image and cleaning it up and seeing what we can bring out of this. But that one's pretty cool. But for now, oh, yeah, I'll get this reset up. Alright, come on, where are you? Now, there's been some pretty cool finds with different things, and depending on time, we may get into more of these. Look at that cube right there. That's pretty cool. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, so this was found by San Kotvix, and that's the guy we did the last video on, where he found that it looked like some sort of power tool or something. So he makes some pretty good finds. So we went ahead and went to the Gigapan. Hey, welcome, Adam. So let's go over here to the Gigapan, and we're going to take a look at this, and I'm going to probably clean this up live. Even though I've already cleaned it up once, I'll go ahead and clean it up again so you can see the process of cleaning this up. Alright, so this is by Neville Thompson, great Gigapan artist, as I usually say. This was Perseverance, Sol 451, 452. So it's a little, almost a year ago? An Earth year, not a Mars year. It'll be about half a Mars year. But there's some pretty cool stuff in here. And the most prevalent thing, of course, is this what looks like a spear. And it's right next to a mostly rectangular block. There's some other things that look like little pipes in here and some other stuff. So a lot of people have talked about the other objects around it. I think Dave being one of them. And there's a few things in this Gigapan we want to look at, but this was the first thing. And I tell you what, it literally looks like a spear. This rod goes almost through the exact middle of this, and then I think it's because of the angle. This is just slightly off. You get in real close, you can see that this line just goes slightly off-centered on it, but it actually looks like it's got these holes on both sides, and when I clean that up, you'll see that a little better. The other thing was this pipe right here, which looks like it's got a flanged edge right here. It goes into something that may be bent right there. That was in the same area, and then this mostly rectangular block. So we wanted to look at that. Now I probably won't find the other stuff. I did this late yesterday. Decided I'd probably try to do a live today, and so let's see. We're going to start with this one though. This thing is pretty cool. So what I did, and like I said, I'm probably going to redo this live so you can see. Oops, I don't need this. I need this one. Nope, I do need this. Where is my cleanup of this? Still, I never did export it. So let's see, was this where I started cleaning it up? Alright, so we've got the image here in GIMP, and this is kind of my process for cleaning it up. I think, oops, maybe I do that. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take the image. I always scale my image, and you don't want to just do a straight scale on this. So this is at 1920 by 1080 and 3.77 pixels per millimeter. So the first thing I always do, which is take this and just double the image size. Alright, and then I want to increase the pixels per millimeter. Alright, that's two good things, and you'll see when we zoom in it's gonna keep it pretty clear. But then you want to either choose no halo or low halo. Don't just do a straight cubic zoom, or it's gonna make it blocky. Alright, so what did I do this last time? I think I used low halo last time. And let's scale it up. And this will allow us to zoom way in on this and get a close look. As you can see, it doesn't get blocky because we increased the pixels per millimeter, and we use that low halo. And I don't know which one's better. Depending on the image, sometimes the no halo is better. But you can get way in on this, and you just see now that it's just barely starting to get blocky. See the little checker pattern starting to show up, little pixelization, and that's way in from the original image. That's why I zoomed that way. Then the second thing we want to do, you can adjust the colors. I do like adjusting the colors a little bit and making it look a little more realistic, but I think I've already done that on this image, and that's where I saved it last in here. Then what I like to do is you could do one or the other. I think in this case I'm going to go ahead and go to colors, and we're going to bump the contrast. Alright, so we're going to take this, let's do split view right there, and this will bump the contrast on the left and leave the original on the right. we're going to bump it up a good bit so we can start to see some detail. Alright, and I'm going to lower the brightness down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to colors and choose levels. And then on the output level, I like to take this black level and bring it up just to try to lighten the darker area. See how the darker area is getting lighter? And then I don't want to go too far here, but on this one, on the output, you can take the white levels down. And I may bring this back up. Let's see. And then we start to get some detail in the image right here. See how the spear thing is starting to come out? It's still a little dark right there. So let's bring the black level up just a little more. That's too much. You can't overdo it with these, or it just won't. It'll just start looking murky and everything, like you're looking through murky glass or something. And then what we're going to do is come over to filters. This is one, like I say, it's toss up of which one to do first. And we want to go ahead and sharpen, unsharpen mask. And once again, we're going to do a split view. See if we can sharpen some of this up a little bit. So I'm going to take the amount. That looks pretty good. And the radius. So I need to go down or up with this. It looks like I need to come up. Now you can see a little bit of the detail starting to come out. So let's do that. And then I think this is probably why I should have done the sharpen, unsharpen mask first, because I'm going to go back and adjust the levels again. And so on the output level, let's go ahead and bring this black up a little bit. There we go. We still want that detail, but we want to be able to see the contrast between the two. And you can clamp these way down. And you can get a lot of contrast, but then you won't really be able to see any detail. So we're going to move this right about here. And now that block that looked like, it kind of looked like a solid piece, you can see a lot of detail in here. See how this part sticks out a little bit. And here's our spear. Still want to bring that black level up a little bit. I may have to block this thing out, because if we look at the rest of this, oops, it looks pretty good. It starts to get a little red tint to it, so we don't want to go too far with that. But there's an area right here. Let's see if we can do it with our fuzzy select. I just want to see it. That's pretty good. Let's increase the threshold. Now what the threshold does is it selects colors that are near to the color you selected, and the higher the threshold, the more colors are included in that, or the more shades of that color. So we've got a pretty good outline here, but we're it's not going all the way. Now two things we can do. We can try doing this using the shift key and just clicking on these areas, and everything in there is what's selected. You can see over here, this shows you what's selected in white. So now what we can do is we can take and go back to our colors, our levels, and let's try to bring up the black in that area. And it's only going to select that area. There we go. So see if we can start to lighten that. And if you notice, the area around it doesn't get affected. It's only what's inside the mask that you create. And it's a quick way using fuzzy select with a pretty low threshold. I start with about 14, 15, somewhere in there, and then I'll work my way up to try to increase more areas on there. Or like I say, you can click on different things, but now we can see a little bit of the detail in there. It might be a little too bright. Let's go back. I don't like it quite that bright. And so here we go. Let's do this again, but not quite so much. Maybe right about there. So I want to give it a kind of natural look to it. Oh yeah, you're right, Adam. I love GIMP, and it's totally free. If you want photo editing software, you don't have to pay for Photoshop. Photoshop is great, but I don't like paying subscription services. If I can just buy it outright, you know, I'm usually all right doing that. But GIMP, for what you get for the free software, it's amazing. I've used it so much to clean up images. And so, oh, by the way, I'm having to keep it down a little bit. The wife worked last night. Yeah, it's a cupcake. You show everybody a cupcake. Is this yours or is this Mommy's cupcake?
My cupcake.
It's yours? I think this is Mommy's cupcake. She's playing with Mommy's cupcake. But yeah, for what you can do with GIMP is amazing. I just love it. So we're going to go ahead and try to sharpen this just a little more. And if it's too much, then we'll undo it. But let's see if we can just sharpen that up just a little more. Oh, that's because I'm doing it inside the mask. Hold on. Cancel. And let's get rid of the mask. So just click anywhere off the screen. It'll get, well, it usually does. Or you can just Control-I and invert. Oh, why does it keep wanting to do that? Okay, I hate when that happens. Go back to fuzzy select and invert selection. There we go. Now we're using this side. So now we should be able to sharpen a little bit more. Okay, let's see if it's gonna help us or hurt us. We just want to try to bring out as much detail as we can. Wow, that looks actually going up pretty high right now for the surrounding area. Looks pretty good. We're going to, okay, that's too much. We're going to have to bring it down on the radius. So, okay. I didn't think I was going to go that high with it. But that actually looks pretty good. Let's zoom out and see if we need to undo. I think this is that block I was looking for. I wish I could get that a little sharper. But take a look at this. This looks like some sort of concrete block. It looks like a square block, but it's been eroded or broken off at the top. And then we've got what looks like another pipe coming down here. So that looked pretty cool. And then was this that square block I looked at? Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of this, but I don't think that's a regular rock. There's so much stuff that was in this image. I snipped a few places just to get a few of the items that I really want to look at. But yeah, this thing kind of it definitely looks like some sort of spear, and I'm just trying to determine whether this is a shadow, just a complete shadow underneath, or it's this is part of the side of it. So I'm not sure on that. But that's what it kind of looks like, and we're going to try to bring out some detail. So now what I want to do is I'm going to use my fuzzy select, turn my threshold, yeah, it's down to 14. Let's see if we can just get this. No. Bring the threshold up. Let's try that. I got a little more of it. Okay, let's try. You don't want to go too high because then it'll grab everything. But let's see. Yeah, see how it starts grabbing everything? And if the fuzzy select doesn't work, then we can always mask it out manually. Let's go down to 32. And like I say, you can always come through with the shift key and click on different areas and add those to your selection. That's pretty good. I wonder if I should click it. Nope, let's not add that one. Control Z will undo. So trying to determine what this thing exactly is, I'm not sure, but like I say, it has the shape of that spear. And I need to increase it just a little bit. Let's try that. No, that's too much. Trying to get this thing just right. I was hoping we'd be able to mask this off. Yeah, it's going to grab that. We could do it manually using the free select tool and just mask around it. And try to bring out more detail in that. But that's alright. Let's do something else. Let's click off of this. And what I'm going to do is I want to use my dodge tool. And we're going to sit here and see if we can burn a little bit of this in. Okay, we need midtones. Opacity and the strength look right. Let's see what happens. We may need the highlights. Let's try the highlights. And we're going to turn this up a good bit. We're just going to try to bring out some of these details in this. See this light part down here? I'm not sure what to make of that. So like I say, I'm not sure if this is more of a spear shape, which it's the basic shape of a spear, or if this is something else. But it definitely looks artificial, and of course this one does too. Let's go back to the original for a minute and take a look at this. You've got these darkened areas right here. And where was that other one? Right there. And this actually looks like a pole right here. But when you start to clean it up, it's actually... And maybe we need to start over with this. Because you can see that darkened area right here. And this area down here. And sometimes the way you clean stuff up can change the way something looks. And I have run into that problem and had to do stuff a few times to see which way looks more accurate. But it still has that basic spear shape, as you can see. But it just looks like maybe these darker areas are part of the side of this. Remember now, I should have pointed this out. The sun is coming from up and to the left over here. Where's my pencil? I never put my pencil tool back on so you can see real well. And go up here. See, I had all this set up. And I forgot to turn it all back on. There we go. Now you can see what I'm pointing at. But it has these darker areas. And like I say, the sun is coming from up here and to the left and shining down and creating a shadow this way. So what I'm thinking is that this may be the side of this, because it does look like the shadow here. Now this is where we might have overdone it on the probably on the sharpness. So let's go with the one I worked on. Okay, discard changes. Do I have... Okay. No, because that's what I was using. Let's go here. And while we're doing that, let's bring this up. I'm going to slide this over here so I can work with it. Perseverance all. 452, there it is. And let's go with, there it is. Drag this over here. Alright, so let's start over and see if we can get this a little better. I won't overdo it this time. So the first thing to do, take your image, scale it up. We're going to go 3840. And we're going to go with about somewhere between 5 and 7. You go too big, the file gets too large. And this time let's try no halo. And they got several videos on how to properly scale images and which ones to choose. I won't go through all that. This time we're going to go with filters first, and we're going to enhance, and we're going to go sharpen, unsharpen, and split screen. Not too much this time. Now I'm going to take those black levels down. Okay, I think I made the radius too big before, was what was part of it. I want to see if I can adjust. How does that look? I think we'll use the burn tool to do the rest of the sharpening on this. So we're going to bring this down. This is about midtones. So we're going to select midtones. And let's just see. Let's increase the size of the brush. Control. Let's see if we can bring some of this out. Sometimes the burn tool works better than trying to do a lot of sharpening. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I need a contrast first. We're going to go with brightness and contrast. Split screen. Let's bring up the contrast. Okay, and let's bring up the brightness. Okay, now we need to adjust our levels. And the white levels I need to bring up. That's pretty good. And let's bring the black levels in. I still want the contrast. Okay. And then now let's use the dodge tool to try to bring out some, the burn tool to bring out some details. Mid levels. Let's burn into this a little bit. I think I need to bring the strength up. Let's go here. And just see if we can bring some detail out of some of this stuff, because sometimes NASA does not want us to see these details, so we have to do what we can to bring them out. And it's always more of an art form than a science to get some of these details out. So let's go with highlights, because this is more in the white. Although I wonder if I should bring the dark areas down first. Let's do that.
Xbox not working. It's not working.
Alright, I'll come.
Turn it on.
You don't need to be messing with the Xbox. So we're going to bring out some detail in the darker areas first. I'll fix it in a bit. So they were playing with mommy's Xbox. Okay, we're going to bring the highlights down a little bit. Maybe too strong for highlights. Let's see. No, it's still a little strong. Okay, let's try that. Just so we can hopefully get a little contrast in here. And it's starting to turn gray. We don't want too much gray. I don't like that gray color. Okay, so let's go back to colors and see if we can bring down levels. See if we can bring this white down a little bit. Let's see, is it input? No, that brings it up. It's output. And then okay, let's see. I think that looks okay. What I really want to do is bring up these shadows. But since we only want to do it in specific areas, we're going to go with shadows. Bring this way down. And this time it's going to be on dodge. Let's see if we can bring this up a little bit. Yeah, we're not going to get much detail out of these shadows, I can see. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you can't. No, that's just going to gray it out. So that's about all we're going to get out of shadows. I was hoping we'd be able to tell if this is a pole or this is something like a piece of, small piece of wall that something's going up and down. I can't really get enough detail out of that to tell. But it is highly manipulated image, many overlays, and the color is also part of the problem. Yeah, well, exactly. They just, quite frankly, don't want you to see this stuff. So it's always a process on trying to bring out as much detail as we can just to see what we can see. But you're right, Adam. I mean, they have overlays on this, and stuff is obfuscated in different ways, and trying to get through the manipulation. That's why Chris is like the master of getting through some of these. Joe White does a pretty good job just bringing up contrast and stuff like that in certain ways to bring stuff out. It's never an easy process. I wish there was one process to fit every image, but yeah, that doesn't happen. So you just kind of play with these until you get something that looks pretty good. So this is the one item I think we ought to model in 3D, these two pieces right here. And oh, I didn't go back to the pipe up here. Where did you go? There's the one long pipe. And that really, I mean, it's farther back, it's not going to be as detailed, but that really does kind of look like something coming out from over here, like a pipe or something, and it's got a flange edge. Where did that other one go? Right here. And take a look at that. It almost looks square now that we've cleaned it up. And then the piece, it comes down like this, like it's bent right here. And then it goes back, and we kind of lose it in all this mess right here. So I've never been great at cleaning up images, but I have learned a couple of techniques to help bring stuff out quickly. This looks like a piece of wall that's standing upright. This looks like it's standing vertically. Small piece of wall or something. Let's save what we got here. That looks pretty decent. because this is where we'll start modeling. Okay, so there we go. Now, oh, I didn't even notice this piece before. I don't know what that is. But see how it looks like it's standing up on something? And maybe it's not. Maybe this is a shadow from something else. And it might be sitting on the ground. I wish we could get more detail there. What's interesting to me is how much money they spent on the cameras on this Perseverance, and we still get crappy images. Oh, but it's the data transfer. That's what a lot of people say. Oh, it's the data. You know, they have to compress the data so much just to get it here. Well, then what was the point if we're going to compress it and give us low resolution images? What was the point of putting on these high-tech cameras on there? Like, well, that was worthless. But I know that NASA gets the better images anyway. So we could go through here and try to bring out more detail. Let's go back to midtones. I'll bring it up. Bring it up. Let's see if we can bring anything else out of here. No, I think that looks worse. No, not much difference. I don't think we're going to get any more detail out of this block. We can try sharpening. But I think once again it's going to overdo it. Oh, let's put a mask around it. That way it only sharpens this. Okay, we got to bring our threshold down. Yeah, that's going to... Okay. It might... No, it's not going to work. I just have to mask it manually. Oops. What did I do? Oh, come on. Why is it doing that? Okay, let's try this again. Sometimes seeing the edges are a little bit difficult. Let's zoom in. I think this one needs to move up. This will only take a couple of minutes. It's not the best job of masking something out, but it should work for now. I don't know where the line is here. Maybe it's right here. Anytime you can use the fuzzy select to do this, it is so much better. It's quick. But see, the colors are so close, it would be hard to separate them. Because you're relying on your eyes now to try to determine where the lines are. And zooming in close, it helps you get better detail, but you kind of lose perspective of where the lines should be. I'm going to move this one over. No. Maybe it should be over here. Alright, well, leave the TV alone. I'll come and fix it in a minute. Well, you're not supposed to be messing with it. See, let's back out. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay, it looks like it comes over here. And the line is somewhere through here. We're going to definitely try to mask this out as best we can. It's going to be a quick job once again. Just because I'm just want to show you what we're going to be working with this week. Well, I say this week. Yeah, it will be. It'll actually be this next week. Sadly, I go back to work tomorrow. And I like my job, but I like doing this more. I wish I could do this full time. Let's see. Yeah. Right there. No, let's bring that down. And I actually think that this piece right here is a separate piece in this rock. Look at this round end on it. And this is why we're going to try to sharpen this piece up. But it looks like it's got a hollow inner right here and then like a nose cone type thing sticking out of the middle. But this is round right here. It's almost like it has a shape of like a megaphone. So we're going to try our best to separate the ground and stuff off the ground from this object and this object, because I think these are two separate. I don't know if this is part of it or not. I think I'm going to include that in our selection. Let's just see how close we can get here. Trying to get the right pieces. Yeah, I wish I could have used a fuzzy select on this. That would have been so much quicker, but we're almost there. We're gonna get there. And it'd be more accurate than trying to do it quick like this. And this does look like the ground below it, this lighter. See how that's a piece of something, but it's separate from this block. So that's why I'm going to try to use that line to separate these. And then we can sharpen it and see what other things we can do to it. Wow, which way to go here? See this lighter piece right here? Either come down and around over here or go up and around over here. Use only dodge and burn tool. Getting the settings dialed in is the key. Yeah. And desaturate the color to make it easier. I have gone and black and whited images and then added my own colors afterward to make it look better. And I have done that, and you're probably right. That's probably a good idea here. You what? Where's your slippers? All right, go get them. Take them where? But yeah, I live by the dodge and burn tool. You also have to try looking at the image as all parts are connected. They really trash the image and break up the image to fool the eye. Well, yeah. And I think I've said this on a few videos. Look at stuff in context. And the problem is, like you say, a lot of the context has been lost because of the way they manipulate different parts of the photo. But if we could see everything in context, like this came from somewhere, and somewhere up on this hill is probably more of the structure, and we only get little bits and pieces. But if we could see all this the way it was meant to be seen, and then get the context from it, like this piece is probably decorative for something. It probably stands upright. This is probably the top, and this is the bottom. It probably stands upright. You know, it's like a part of a statue or something. And if we could just see that in its context, it would make more sense. Even if it was different art style than what we have here on Earth. Now, a lot of things, as Joe has pointed out, are very similar. But yeah, anytime I look at an image, I try to get context views of it. And I looked through that whole Gigapan, and I found a few things in it that all together, when you put them together, you can tell that this stuff is artificial. But you look at one and you could say, oh, this is just a weird shaped stone. But even these three that are close together, you can, you put it together, it's like, okay, what's the chances of three naturally occurring stones being so oddly shaped? Oh, my goodness. I don't know which way to go on this. Looks like I should go up, over, and back down, but it also could be coming down to here, across, and then the edge of the spear obscures this right here. Of course, there does just very slightly seem to be a line across the middle, and I think I'm going to take the middle ground and take that right through the middle. It looks like right about here could be a very, very, very faint line. And by the time we sharpen it and do a few other things to it, we might get a better idea. Okay, I gotta back out a little bit. And you got to be careful when you do these by hand, because you don't want to create objects that are not really there, or create shapes in the object that are not really there. And that's why I'm trying to go quick, but I'm also trying to get as accurate as possible. One thing I don't like about the free select tool is you can't save while you're using it. So make sure you do any saving beforehand. And then when you get done, you can save again. As soon as you go to save, it closes the tool. It closes the path that you're making. Wow. Is that part of this piece behind it? Yeah, I think it is. I think it does come across like this. Okay. I probably should have isolated that out first, the spear. Just because I could have actually cut the spear out and then layered it back on top. And I could have enhanced that one separately. Okay, this is where we kind of lose it in all of this. I think the line comes somewhere like this. Alright, let's back out. Yep. I think I need to push these up just slightly, somewhere in between there where this part kind of fades into it. Somewhere right there. That line is so hard to see. And we come across here, this one needs to move back down. Okay. I don't know why I'm cutting out this part. I'm trying to cut the rock out, not worried about that. But, oh well. We're already here. Okay. I'm getting back to the rock now. Push this one up. Not sure where that one ends. Just taking a guess through there. Let's see. Yeah, you know, I was reading, hold on, the Mars Anomalies Discord. I think it's just a, let me finish masking this out, and I'm going to show you what I read on there. it's just, I think with Chris's schedule, and then they had the fire at the one warehouse, and they wound up moving everything over to the other, and of course he's been going back and forth between the two warehouses. He just hasn't had any time to really do a whole lot with the Discord. In fact, if you noticed, I don't even know when the last time he went live is. Give me a moment. We'll take a look at what Ricardo wrote, because Ricardo's kind of in this same how to say this. Ricardo was thinking along the same lines. It's like, it's really sad that it hasn't really taken off. But I mean, sometimes life gets in the way, and you're not, what you plan to do is obviously going to turn out different than what you actually wind up doing. I mean, I plan on getting more videos out this year. That was my goal for this year, was to try to get at least one video out a week, and then try to get do a live maybe once every 2 weeks, but at least once a month was my goal. And if I could do more lives than that, I would do it. So this same thing here. Life just kind of gets in the way, and you wind up doing things that you need to do, because that's the one thing that gets neglected when you get too far into this stuff. Modeling takes a while. Cleaning up images takes a while. Looks like I messed up something somewhere. What is this? No? No, maybe not. And so you wind up realizing you can't spend as much time doing this as you want, because then you wind up not being able to get stuff done, let's say around the house, that needs to get done, which is kind of where I'm at. I'm not getting anything, I won't say anything done, but when I'm doing this full time, I'm really not getting much done around the house. And it's not fair to dump it all on the wife and other people that live with us here in the house. Okay, this is where this gets a little bit tricky again. Looks like I already placed this one in the wrong place. This one. I think this one. Oh shit. That's not gonna work. Let's see, can I undo? Or am I gonna mess it up? Probably better not. I know what'll happen. But this I gotta straighten out. But yeah, I read Ricardo's post on that, and I was thinking along the same lines. Chris is just, he's talked about it several times, how busy he's been, and just hadn't really had the time to really get into that. And he promised he'd put out more videos, and so hopefully he's able to do that. What am I missing? Can I close that off here? Oh, I just put myself in a box. I didn't realize realize that. Let's take... I shouldn't have gone around that. Oh, goodness. That was not wise. I wasn't even thinking. I'm sitting there talking and wasn't even paying attention. I needed to come from here down this way and around and go up. But, okay. We're going to see what we can do here. Let's take from right here. I don't want to redo all this. All I want to do is sharpen this thing up. I know there's a way to delete some of these markers. Okay, so let's do... is it? You just go over it and hit delete. Is that the way? Uh-oh. That wasn't it. What was it? Backspace? How do you delete markers? Backspace? Yeah, that's what it was. What even thinking? I'm sitting there just talking away and just outlining. Going the wrong way. Oops. Oh, I don't even have to highlight them. So it's a backspace. I couldn't remember what it was. I haven't really messed up like this before. I'm usually paying more attention. Here we go. Okay. We're alright. Okay, that stuff is behind this. So what I need to do is bring this one out. Bring this one in. Where's the next one? Okay. We're okay. Okay, there we go. Now we got it masked out. After all that. Okay, so now what I want to do, make sure that's a part that's highlighted. And we're going to go... I think I'm going to try to sharpen, unsharpen mask. Let's try that. Oh, that looks pretty good. I'm going to bring that up. Okay. Maybe a little more. Okay. Now you kind of see that cylindrical shape, how it goes back. And you see that part that comes out of the middle. See, does not look like kind of a separate piece in the block itself. It's something laying in front of it. Let's save. Alright. I've been editing Antarctica Operation Iceberg images. Wow, they are funky also. Yeah. Michelle. Is that her name? Yeah. Talked a lot about that and showed some pretty interesting stuff. I was really blown away by her work. So that looks, we can see some more detail in that. That's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save this because I want to bring up this Discord. And where was it? think it was under general chat. I know it was Ricardo. Where was it? Oh, wait. Leslie Ann? Okay, I thought it was here under the general chat. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, this is what Ricardo posted on this. As he said, it's floundered somewhat since it was launched, despite the best of intentions. There's been a small dedicated number of regular contributors, but unfortunately, some of us have been unable to, due to circumstances, to continue to provide regular and consistent input. Yeah, so Ricardo has been. I know he's been busy with his job, and I think he's been traveling too. If I remember, he told me he'd been traveling. And so, and this is a while back I talked to him. I haven't really talked to anybody since before Christmas. I just barely got back to life after Christmas and trying to catch up on everything and all. So, what else does he say? Yeah. The participation has been less than a dozen regular members. And Chris's forum here is really putting out some good information when it comes, but it has been a while since anything, has really been put on here. In fact, I just posted yesterday about this one. There we go. And then that machine, whatever that is, looks like a hand power tool that was found by San Kotviks. Really interesting. I found that intriguing. I had to model that. I'm like, oh, there's no way I can pass that one up. And that's why then I found this thing about this, the spear. This was found on Dave Gannett's Mars X3D, and I said, huh. I said, I need to model that one. Unfortunately, the stupid play logo is right in front of the spear. I always got to remember that. Don't put it right in the center of the screen. Put a little bit to the right, a little bit top or left, because it's right there underneath it. But, so yeah, we need more people to post stuff when they find it. And you said you've been editing the Antarctica photos. I'd just post a few clips on here, either under general chat. I don't even think it would matter if you put it under the Mars chat. That's the one I think most people look at. So I'd probably drop it under Mars chat and the general chat, or even the conspiracy one. I haven't even looked at conspiracy chat lately. I had been looking at it. I'm always looking for something to do that we can model. Oh, that's been since November, so yeah, I have. Yeah, the last time I looked must have been November. Because everything else is new for me. But I would, if you get some images cleaned up, just to show people, I would post on here and try as many as we can, many people as we can, to do some image processing and stuff. I would try to post on here. Just try to keep this thing going, because it is a good place to get together and be able to talk to different people. And you can't find what in the Discord? In Discord? Oh, the channel itself? Yeah, I know it's hard to find. It's like I had to when Chris was doing one of the live chats and he gave a link to it. I had to copy that link and then paste it in to get it. It's like, why is it so hard to find channels in Discord? Like one of my favorites is the backroom stuff. Where is it? Stargate. Bosma fam, who posts for backrooms content and creepy videos and stuff like that, creepy pasta type stuff. His was easy to find, but Chris's Discord server, you got to have the link just to be able to find the darn thing, and I don't know why that is, but yeah, it's kind of crazy. All right, so let me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bring up Blender. And what else do I have open? I have Facebook. Oh, that's the actual. Okay. Let's bring up Blender. And we're going to try to do a quick model of this thing. It's going to be interesting because I'm not sure the exact shape of this thing, but we can start with the block behind it. Blocks are easy to model. So I'm going to delete this one, X to delete, or hit the delete button, and I'm going to hit number 3. I wish I knew how to bring up the to show the keys you press like the other guys do. I'm not that talented, I guess. Shift A. And we want to go down to images as planes, which is under image. And let's go to, shoot, I'm in the total wrong place. Go to my backup list. There we go. Blender models. Perseverance. 452. Where are you? Oh, I never exported it. Okay, hold on. Cancel. Shrink you down. Okay. So we're going to go with that. Control E to export. And we'll call it, and we're in the right folder, we'll call it the same thing, GIMP Spear. Export as a PNG and all that stuff. Save the EXIF data. Now, while this is going, you can see this block has different layers. There's this layer, then it sticks out a little bit, then it looks like it sticks out again. So we're going to try to model that. It's either something sticking out sideways here. See how it looks like these two squares that stick outward towards you? Well, a little bit towards you, kind of off to your left. Or it's so eroded in here that it's got a hole back here, but I don't think so. It just looks like a piece that comes out. And like I say, it's coming out at you at an angle like this. It's got a piece that comes up underneath it. And this is on the side of this cut stone. See the two squares in it? And this comes back to right there. There's the side. And like I say, that the profile's facing you. But I think those are actually protruding outward. That's what it seems to be. If we could get some good shadowing underneath this, we could tell for sure. So what I'm going to do is block out the basic shape of this. So I exported. We can actually close this. I'll come back to that later. Okay, so Shift A. Images as planes, and back up Blender models, Perseverance Sol 452, I have all these files, by the way. I just clip images and save them. Sometimes I forget to go back and check what I wanted to model. Okay, I usually scale by 10. That's usually pretty good. And then grab on the Z by 5. There we go. Then I'll go over to shading. And let's see. Okay. So what I want to show you is, if you look at this, it looks pretty glossy and like it's slightly transparent. So here's what I do. I take the subsurface IOR, which is index of refraction, turn that all the way down. The specular I turn all the way down. The roughness I bring all the way up because I don't want any reflectivity off of this. And then sheen tint, same thing. And now if you look at it, it's flat. It's not glossy. You're not going to see anything really reflecting off of it. That way you can get an accurate idea when you go to model. Alright? So, hit your period key and you'll be pointed. The period key on your number pad will help you look straight at an object, whatever object you have selected. Oh, excuse me, I don't mean to keep yawning, and I actually did sleep last night. Okay, so you want to hit Shift and right click on your mouse, and that will set your 3D cursor. That puts it right on whatever you were looking at. Alright, so I do that, and then I'm going to Shift A, and we're going to start with a cube. Alright, we're going to scale this down. Scale. Grab on the Y. And I usually work with the X axis facing me and the Y axis to the sides. It really doesn't matter what direction you work in. Some people, well, most people, in fact, I'm guessing, work with the Y axis facing them and the X axis to the sides. Just their preference, I'm guessing. So scale on the Z. And we're just going to try to match somewhere here the shape of this. Now let's move you down now. Now, the width is what you kind of have to guess. And let's move this out from this. Huh? Where's your cuppy at? I don't need to drink my soda. You're too young for soda. See, I'm not too young for soda. I love you. Downstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? I didn't even know we had it downstairs. And upstairs? Okay. Looks like we're a little bit long, so scale on the X. Somewhere like that. Okay. Just working quickly here. Now let's move this back up into position. So grab Shift X. Shift X just keeps you, it moves it on every axis except the X axis. I think we got the size about right. Okay, let's Control A, and that's to apply, in this case, scale. And then we're going to tab into edit mode. We want to make sure we're on face select. So number 3 is face select. Might tickle you? Alright. And we want to choose this face here. And we're going to try to move this back to match a little better. You want to go about the center. Somewhere like this. So if you look at this, let's tab back in object mode and move it down. Since this is at a slight angle, when you're trying to match up your measurements, go with about the center of, like this is the top face, this lighter part. Oh, I should be pointing with this. This is the top face, the lighter part. You want to go with the center and the center to get the size right. Because, oh gosh, excuse me. The center is the about where it's going to be orientated. So if I turn this, it's going to match up. This corner will match with this corner, and the far back corner will match with this corner. You see? So you want to go with about the center of your object. You want to match this face with this face here, and then, well, that center of that face, and then the center of this face, the center of this face. Alright, I still think we got, I don't know, maybe it's about right. And once we orientate it right, it should be pretty close. Okay, so let's move them back. So now, same thing, we're going to take about the center of this ledge right here, and we're going to extrude it out to about the center of this. Alright, so here we go. We're going to go into edit mode, so tab into edit mode, get close to the edge and hit Control R for a loop cut. Click it once and move that up into position. Right about there. Okay. Now we're going to go back. When you go into loop cut, it will automatically go into edge select or points. You need soda. Yeah, you need soda. Girl, you better not become a soda-holic later in life. You want to say hi to everybody? Oh, say hi, everybody. Say hi. This is my younger one. Yeah, because we're live streaming. What? Yeah. Your finger? You see your finger on there?
Daddy, look.
A tree? Yeah. Alright. Y'all go play. I'll be out there. You want to say hi to everybody? What are you eating?
Cheeto.
You smell like you've been eating chocolate, girl. Reese's. Oh, your hair is fantastic today. You look like a runway model now. Alright, say hi.
Hi, everybody. Look, there's eyes.
Yeah, these are all the little icons for my images that I've been working on. That's your icon?
Yeah.
Oh, you've been working on images too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've been with you on my icon.
Mmm.
Oh, there's a lot of icons.
Mm-hmm.
She's watching. There's mommy's icon.
Yep. Say hi, Adam.
Hi, Adam. There's more eyes.
Yep.
3 eyes.
That's the little gimp, doggy, or I don't even know. I guess he's a doggy. Alright.
I see that.
Watch the cord down there. Oh, yeah. That's just on my phone so I can make sure I'm still broadcasting. Yep, I have my headset on. All right, so we go back into we're in edge select. Anytime you use the loop cut, it's going to take you to edge select. If you're already in edge select or point select, it will leave you in those. But anytime you use face select, it's going to take you to edge select. So you want to make sure that you press the number 3 and go back into face select. Grab this face here. You made a what? Tower. Oh, out of your Mega Blocks? What's going on here? Oh, I was supposed to hit the right one. Okay, give me some room, darling. You're pushing on my arm. So now we're going to hit E to extrude. And we want to extrude. Yeah. Chip it over my cords. Alright, be careful. Am I still, let me check my audio. Okay, looks like we're still putting out audio, so that's good. She tripped over the microphone cord. And by the way, I still haven't fixed my microphone stand. I'm getting there. I'm missing the little dial thing that goes right here to tighten the screw. So I can't put my microphone back together until I find it. They got to it 2 weeks ago. Well, somewhere I discovered it 2 weeks ago. Alright, so now let's go grab on the Z again. And it looks like we have a third edge right here. There's the first edge. There's the second edge. And there's the third edge. It also has connected to the spear, but so what we're going to do is go back into edit mode. Going to put a loop cut right here. Come up on that edge. That's about right. I'm going to grab this face. And we're going to extrude that one out. Something like that. Now, excuse me. And we're going to need to bevel these edges when we get done, but it actually looks like it's raised up somewhat right here. So let's see if we can do that. It also, either this protrudes out like this. This is a piece that protrudes out like this one does. Or the back side of this is not exactly flat. And I don't know where to go on that yet. What I'm thinking is this is kind of sticking out like this piece. Like there's a piece we'll add. So I think this is going to come out. This is going to stay flat like this. So I think what we'll do is let's put some loop cuts over here. And this one goes back to somewhere right there. This one and it comes pretty far to the front. See, this slight curve comes to here, and then we've got these two in the middle. So let's scroll the mouse wheel forward. Control R was to make the loop cut. Scroll the scroll wheel forward. And that makes 2. That should be good. and then right click to cancel the movement. But now I gotta take this one, so Alt click, that moves that one, hit G, so G twice, and that will move it along. You can't open this. Yeah, you can't open that, honey. So it does what's called a loop slide. So let's click on this one, Alt, click, G to do a loop slide. Let's move it about the same amount that we moved that one. And the reason we're going to move these is we're going to pull these faces up. So let's do that. So go back into face select. 3 is face select. Or you can always come up here and click it. And let's grab this on the Z. And let's pull those faces up just slightly. It's like maybe a little more. That way it has that kind of curve to it. And we're going to smooth this out, by the way. This is not going to stay as rough like this. We're going to bevel and shade smooth. And that usually does it. Now, looking at this, now what I usually do is on my right monitor, which you're not going to be able to see, is I bring up the image over here so I can reference. Where's my spear? There it is. So I don't want it full screen because I need to be able to see that. So let's do this. Let's zoom in. To have the link, wait, what? I can't even find it. I used to have the link. I might have to go back to find the. Hold on. Let me see if I have the link to the Discord. Did I close it? Yeah, apparently I did. Open Discord. Okay. How do you get the link to this? It's a share button somewhere. Invite. Would that be what it is? Copy button. Okay. Copied. Okay. Now let me see if it'll let me post it or if I have to do some manipulation here. Control V. Now is it going to post? There you go. But yeah, that should take you straight to Chris's Discord server. Now, what was I doing? Okay, so now what I want to do is, let's rename this. Well, it is a cube. What am I going to call this? Hey, to the living room. Mommy's sleeping. Rectangle. To the living room. Girls. Okay, there we go. Alright. Now, let's go ahead and put this back in place. Oops. So I hit the right one. More or less right there. And then we're going to H to hide. Now what I want to do is try to get this spear or whatever it is modeled. Looks like a spear. Girls, girls, to the living room. I may have to go fix the TV for them. Yeah, cool. Cause any kind of work like that, the Antarctica stuff, I truly believe is tied to the Mars stuff. And in fact, everything in our solar system where we found structures and what looks like cities on these moons and planets. I think it's all tied together. I think all of it. And I don't think it's alien. And I truly believe that, as I know Edgar Casey said it, and several others throughout time, several cultures have talked about it, that we're in the fifth cycle of man. I believe that these are previous iterations of ourselves, and we got so advanced that we actually inhabited our probably the entire solar system. And then those societies got destroyed, and probably remnants of it, when we see the UFOs that are surrounding Earth, are probably leftovers from these colonies that were on the different planets and moons in our solar systems. Just because the society here on Earth got destroyed doesn't mean that a colony, a self-sustaining colony, got destroyed. They could have survived, and these might be their generations, their children's children that are taking a look to see what is going on here and who is here and how far we've advanced, to see if we get to where they were, and see if there's any way that we can communicate. Of course, they are communicating with us. And I think that we're going to find out that, it's not so much quote unquote alien as in they originally came from different planets or worlds. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me just go take care of something real quick. Hold on. Girls. Okay, y'all need to go to the living room. Okay, my apologies. I had to go take care of them real quick. Cool. All right. So when Mommy gets up, she's going to have to go sign in on her Xbox. All right, so now let's take a look at this sphere object and see if we can get at least a rough model of it. We're not going to get a completed model today because it takes a little time to get everything fixed. So I'm going to shift and right click. This time I'm going to bring in a cylinder. And I don't need 32 vertices. So what I need is about 12 or 16. Let's just go with 16 for now, because we are going to shade this smooth. Okay. So let's do that. And then what orientation do I want to work in? Well, let's scale it first. Scale, Shift Z, because we don't want to scale on the Z. We just want to thin this thing out pretty well to where it pretty much matches over there. It's going to be like that. And then, now let's scale on the Z. Let's bring this down. Okay. How's that? That looks pretty good. Okay, let's try rotating it. Which way do I want to rotate? You know what? I think I'll just keep it this way. Grab on the Y. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep it in this orientation for now. And then we'll adjust it as we go along. So now, let's click on this. So, cursor is selected. So Shift S, cursor is selected. And if you look, the 3D cursor is right in the middle of that. Of our pole. Think I'm going to do this with a plane. So Shift A, add mesh plane. Rotate Y 90 degrees. And we're going to scale. And you don't have to do Shift X this time because a plane has is infinitely thin. Okay, and then scale Y. Let's thin it out. Okay, now grab on the Z. I think it's still a little big. Scale Z. Grab Z. Okay. Alright. So the basic shape that this spear has is it's almost like a teardrop shape. It comes out and curves this way, and then it's rounded corners, and then it comes down and it's curving down into a point. Can you see it right there? How it comes out, curves around on both sides. There's your curve. And then it's going to curve down into a sort of point. And it looks like that middle shaft comes almost to the end of that. What did I click off of the plane? There we go. So what I think is I need to put some loop cuts in horizontally going across. So let's take this edge here. So tab into edit mode and make sure we're on edge select, and let's bring this to almost a point. So scale Y. And then grab Z. Just going to bring it down a little bit. Okay. And then let's put a loop cut here. I lost my loop cut. Can't see it. Oh, there it is. So that loop cut should be somewhere down here because we don't have the back edge quite to there. And there is a square in here. It's right there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a square right there at the bottom of the blade portion of this. So now we're going to scale this on the Y. And this is about to there. Okay. We need a loop cut here. So let's move that up. Scale Y. Probably need to put one down here, but we'll see what happens. Let's put one here. Scale Y. Alright, so now if we look at this, let's do one thing. I'm going to shift click on that. Now let's move these out from the background. Grab on the X. That way we can see them better. And then let's grab on the Y. I think, yeah, we need to put a loop cut in here. Control R for our loop cut. Move that up just a little bit. Scale Y. I think I need one more right here. I don't want to put too many because we're going to use subdivision surfaces. Scale Y. And the subdivision will help us with some of the shape of this. And now this one, I think I need to put one here. And then grab this edge and then scale Y. And then once we add some thickness to this, we'll bevel that. Right now it's infinitely thin. But we're going to add a solidify modifier once we get the shape right. Now, I think I have the whole thing a little wide. So let's tab in object mode. And I know what I didn't do. Scale along the Y and let's thin this out. I think right about there. And I can already tell once I rotate this into position, this is going to have to be longer. So I didn't take an account for that. Alright. In fact, let me do that because I know that that's going to be longer. So click on this one. Yep, I said go into object mode. Click on that one, there we go. Edit mode. Face select. And we're going to make this longer because I know it's going to be longer by the time we rotate it into position. Now, back in object mode, select both of those, grab along the Y. Seems to have something going on at the bottom, like it flanges out into a shape kind of like this. So I think what we're going to need to do, well, let's start with this square up here. Okay, I think I know what I need to do there. Alright, so cursor to selected. Oh, I selected this object and I move cursor to selected. Alright, and that does put it, like I say, right in the center of this object. And so now I'm going to shift A and I'm going to add a cube. So mesh cube. And we're going to scale that down, way down to, looks like somewhere like that. See how wide that piece is? Now let's scale Z. Grab on the Z. There you go. I'll never get it apart again, but that's okay. Looks like that may be a little big. Let's scale Shift Z. Maybe something like that. Okay. And then Control A. Now, for the moment, this is a separate object from this and this. These are all three separate objects. Well, we're going to join them together after we get it modeled a good bit. Looks like I need to come down a little bit. Grab along the Z. Okay. Something like that. So now, let's go into edit mode on this one. And let's make sure we are over here in face select. Let's select this face. Make you cry. Hey, mommy's sleeping. What are you doing up there? You gonna take a nap? Alright. Okay, so what we want to do is, this looks like where it comes out from here, there's a little bit of an edge and then it curves inward. Well, bring me your cuppy. Or here, have some Gatorade. No, you have to come off the bed. You're not going to spill it by sitting on the bed. But I still need your cuppy. Whenever you're done, child. It's, you know, we don't have all day. She drank a lot of my Gatorade. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is I to inset. And we're going to put just a little bit of an edge. Something like that. And then we're going to extrude this down. So E to extrude. Down to here. And then we're going to scale this face. To about just a little bit wider than the pole itself. Alright. And then we're going to put a loop cut here. And then we're going to scale that inward Hey, 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 get out of that box. Oh, you need to be careful. Y'all don't need to be playing up there anyway. I told you, Mommy's trying to sleep. Hey, keep the noise down. Mommy's trying to sleep. Mommy has to work tonight. Alright, and then one more loop cut here. Let's scale that one in a little bit. This is probably more than I need because subdivision surfaces is going to fix some of this anyway. If y'all are going to play, you're going to the living room. If you're going to lay down, that's fine. So there we go. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Is so far this is kind of the shape I'm seeing in here. You see that cube right there with the beveled edges right there. Looks like I need to bring that face down a little bit. Okay, let's see. Face select 3 for face select. Okay, let's look at it. Oh, it's pretty close. Yeah, it could come down a little bit. Grab along the Z. Hit the shift key for more precise movements. And let's bring that all the way down the edge of that blade. There we go. But that's kind of what we're looking at there. We're going to shade it smooth so it doesn't have these hard edges along with this one too. Now, before I add thickness to, well, I can add the solidify modifier to this one. Let's go with object mode. Click on this. What? I love you. And we're going to go ahead and choose, see where this little wrench is? That's your modifiers. You got a whole list of different modifiers. Usually for changing the shape and stuff of objects, it's all in this generate. You got bevel, boolean, which you can use an object to cut holes in an object. Okay, honey. So when we get to doing those holes that are around here, we may wind up using a boolean to do that. Let's see. And remesh is pretty good when you're working with complex models like creatures and stuff like that. Alright, honey. But what we're looking for right now is solidify modifier. Okay. And you can see this is what it did. It added thickness. You can control your thickness here. Make it as thick or as thin as you want. 0.2 looks about right. It's so hard to tell because of the shadowing. Let's see. Let me go back to the original. Okay, but we're not going to apply this modifier right now. I'm going to go with 2.5, 0.025, I should say. Oh, that's 3.5. Thought I hit 2. Well, maybe I should have went with 0.035. Okay, 0.03. 0.03. Okay, that looks a little better. Alright, so before we apply the solidify, we want to figure out how we want to cut these out. Now, I can either do this with a boolean or with loop cuts. And when we use the subdivision surface, it will round it out. So we can actually make square ones and then go to the living room. Go. Yeah, y'all are too noisy. Okay. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is cut these out with loop cuts. So let's click, make sure I clicked on that tab. And looking at this one, let's go back to the original. It looked like there were holes. Where is it? Spear. But in the, let me show you. This is the original. And it kind of looks like there is. But then when we go to the enhanced one, it may not have holes there after all. Kind of looks like it right there, but not so much on this side. You'd think it would, you'd see this side better. All right, Adam, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining me here. I'm about to get off too. I just want to finish up this spear. So I don't think I'm going to put holes in that after all. We'll use texture on that. That is the basics of our spear then. So we have a cube that we're gonna put some detail on. And then we have the spear. So let's see, what am I could apply the solidify if I'm going to do that. Let's do that. So we're on the, okay, go back to object mode. That looks pretty good on the thickness. Let's apply Control A to apply. Alright. Oh, let's save. We haven't saved in a while. Oh, we haven't saved at all. Wow. I did not realize I had not saved this whole time. Wow, we're lucky we didn't get a crash. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and round out these edges. Yeah. That's why I love this headset. I can just quickly flip the microphone up and mute the mic. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and bevel this out. So I want to be on edge select right now. I'm on face select, so let's go. Number 2 is edge select. We're going to select this edge. And we're going to select this edge. Alright, let's Control B to bevel, and then just pull it to make the bevel. Hey, what happened? Where'd my bevel go? I know it's beveling because okay, let's make sure we have these selected. Okay, that one's selected. That one's selected. Alright. Control B. Oh, there we go. Alright. Let's go back here. Zoom out. Now that we know we got them selected. I don't know what happened the first time. That's okay. Bring up my image. Bring this over. Light back up. Okay. Here we go. Control B. And by the way, you pull it outward and then you scroll the wheel to increase the bevel. How many segments? Okay. Right there. Now we want to add to selection. Okay, now we're going to scale this in on the Y. Oops, we got a problem. I know it. I'm sorry, baby. And we're going to add that to the selection. And add this to the selection. We're going to try this again because I messed up on my bevel, but that's okay. Scale on the Y. Okay, it's not going to work. Control Z, Z, Z. And I should have put this one in here. That's okay though. We're gonna figure this out. Control B. Alright, now okay, there we go. That looks better. You what? Alright. Tell mommy.
Daddy, look. Mommy's done sleeping.
Yeah, y'all woke her up. All that noise. Stay off the bed. Okay, so there we go. That looks better. Well, the only thing I may do.
I want a hug.
Alright, honey, I'm a little busy right now. Okay. Is adjust the shape a little bit. What I'm thinking is if I move these two in, this one, this one, this one, and this one, if I do that and scale them along the Y, I am going to have a problem. That's okay, I can fix this. Go to point select. No, go to face select. Give me 1 second here. I gotta fix this geometry. And this one. X delete. X for delete faces. And then we want to go to point select. And we want to go this point to this point. And M to merge at last. There we go. Then we want this point to this point. Merge at last. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's better. It's a little bit of subdivision. It'll look pretty good. I need to move that one in a little bit. Let's go with that one. And that one. Merge at last. That one to that one. And merge at last. There we go. Okay. So I think what I need to do is move this one. Let's go back to edge select. Grab this one. And this one. Okay. Like this. And grab Shift X. Okay. Now this one. And wait, what the hell happened? Control Z, Z. I swear I grabbed. Oh, I know what I did. Grab Z. Nope. Scale Y. That's like a little better shape. Alright. So our spear is taking shape. Oh, can't see. Alright, that is definitely taking shape. Now what I want to do on the pole, so let's go back to object mode. We're going to select the pole. Is I want to put a loop cut somewhere right here because we've got some things going on here. I'll show you. Okay, so we're going to go into edit mode and we need to be straight on, so hit number 3 and we're going to go Control R. And then we're going to move this up until we find this thing. Oh wait, going the wrong way. Okay, hold on. Let's try this again. Control R. There it is. Now let's hopefully not lose it. Okay. Where did you go? So hard to see. Where are you? Okay, right there. Okay. It's almost in the right place. So let's go GG, loop slide. It's a point. What the heck? It didn't move. My gosh, it's going to be so hard to do. Okay, I know how to do this. Gonna go here. We're gonna go with matte cap here and choose brown. Should be a little easier to see it. Oh my gosh, you gotta move faster than that. Oh my goodness, it is moving very slow. Why? Okay, so there we go. That's about right. And then I'm gonna put a loop cut here. Now we're gonna bring that up. Let's see. Oops. That looks about right. And let's go to face select. And then let's choose, we're going to get right on the center line and hit Alt and click. That will click every face around that cylinder. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to scale this out, except on the Z. So scale, Shift, Z. Okay. And then now we're going to choose we're going to put a loop cut first. So it looks like, see how it kind of tapers back in? So let's put a loop cut down here. Okay. And now we're going to go to face select. So 3 for face select. There we go. Let's go straight back on. And it tapers back inward. So we're going to do that. Scale. And then we're going to put a loop cut in the middle of this. Control R. And then we're going to scale. Oops. Let's zoom back in. Alt. Try that one more time. I hit A instead of S to scale. We're going to scale. There we go. Alright. So that looks good. Alright. So we're getting somewhere now. Looks pretty good. Alright, so we're going to save this project, and I'll get into more of this on the videos. It'll be, I got to work for 4 days, and then I'll come back and work on the video. But let's unhide everything. Hey, where did my cube go? I thought I just unhid you. There we go. So we'll get back into this more, and we'll start putting some detail in these. This is the basics of what these things look like, and so I'll probably, we can either go live again next week if y'all think we should go live, or yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Let's go live next week. We're going to do another live next week, and we'll get into part 2 of this and try to get these things, get some detail in them, and get them put in place. But for now, you guys have a good day. I've been going for about 2.5 hours, and I really need to get some things done, unfortunately. So we shall see you guys next week. Have a good week. Take care of yourselves, and